All right. So let's start off here with a nice little review of today's market action. We had some great opportunities in the market. And when we talk about great opportunities, I have to talk about the importance of what that means. I should take a break here just before I start here. Hold on. Just let me pause this for a second. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get something out of my car, bring it back in here. And we're going to kick this off here. So just give me 1 second. All right, so I'm back from the car here. So we're going to do a little start with a little review. The market's kind of active today. We'll get to that in a second. The tradeometer is looking good. In fact, again, I spoke to a couple of traders back and forth today, and they were, and I was getting some feedback. I'm going to share you some of that feedback tonight. I won't mention the name because I didn't get permission, but maybe I'll at least get the gist of it, because we got, it's just always great when I get feedback for the rock bot or for the prop trading challenge and some of the signals we're sending out, and what the I think it's a great thing, and I just keep on stressing that, how I think it's such a great way of entering trading. If you're a newer trader, if you have your own money and you've made your money trading and you're doing something right and you know what you're doing, then that's fine. It's not, there's
Order
different
filled.
classes, traders, definitely different time frames. It's the ones you want to make money each day and try to profit from the market, that quick time frame, and then you have the swing and investors, but we, the hardest part is the intraday trading. I mean, that's it could be a violent affair. And when I get, and being able to start like this, not having to put up that much money and having an opportunity to test your skills and to, have a chance of actually qualifying on accounts and getting live accounts, and then actually applying those same rules. If you're qualifying now, and we're getting a lot of people qualifying. My maestro in the room here is just qualified in another 50K account, he said. And that's amazing. And it, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. But I think we have the game plan. Still have to get through your inner demons. Missing positions and not being in front of the market. But when we look back at this and we get our shit together, and you're in tune, there's nothing you have good discipline. You're going to get these big moves. Today was a great day for trading the markets using the signals I like to use. So I like to go back and kind of recap the day for us and see exactly where the setup should be. What did I miss? What did I want to send these out, believe me. I live my life through the mic here, so it pains me to know that, I miss something.
Order
and I don't get it out to the members.
Canceled.
I look back at it and look how easy that was to set up, and I don't know what I was doing at that time. Sometimes you're distracted, sometimes you're maybe looking at something else. So I teach it, but then again, we teach it. I still want to take advantage of this. These are layups. These are layups in the term of basketball. And the steeper the divergence, the more powerful, the faster the move. And again, remember our time frame. If you're trading the 1 minute or 5 minute time frame, maybe people are out there trading a little longer 5 minute time frame, which is great. But when you see this and you see it show up all the time, you kind of focus on that. And then when you miss it and you focus on it, then just kind of, you don't want to overtrade this market. There is areas, I call them pivot areas, usually signal areas, that we tend to get this signal, and then it's a big change of trend. A lot of times divergences will be the best setup of the day, both highs
Order
and lows.
submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
That's the
Order submitted.
looks like the rock bot going in with a possible 5 minute divergence. You can hear it in the background. I'll go over that a little bit here. So market out of the gate, 9:30, nice pop up. The VWAP here has been something we were watching all pre-market. It was kind of running into it. I think it was on. Well, anyway, we banged up to it again. We started off right at 9:30 up to the VWAP, and then kind of came back down here. We rotated down to kind of a quad rotation here for a little bang back up here. But again, in a situation where we try to have a playbook, and our playbook says, the quad rotation is when all four of these are under 20, and this is right on 20. At what point do you pull the trigger, or do you wait a little bit longer? I mean, the trend line's there, and then it gets away from you. So there is those difficult levels, those borderline levels. But most of the time, if you're down there, it's just a matter of time before you get that turn back up. So here we had another push back up, and we identified, and this one was a good one. You see that little dot right there, that little dot above the line? That's what I'd like to see, that little dot start to appear first. And of course, the other ones have to be all pretty much in line. And you can see there's a slight little delay here. I like when they kind of coil up. I call it, waiting for the other stochastics to kind of catch up, and they all come down together, and that's usually the best area. Now, this was a really big area today, and I'm happy to see a lot of people have gotten back to me, said they made some good money off this area. So this was something, this green line. We went out of here early this morning. I didn't even think we were going to get down today. I said, you know what, I'm just going to put it in. I'm going to work on this line for a bit. That's what I did. I said, that's going to be a tough one, because my chart, the way it's set up, it's going to be very hard to zoom in and see where those lows are. So I have to go back here, and then I zoom in. And I really got to make sure that I'm, where I want to put that, starting that trend line, that green line. It's going to be the green line. So I'll make it a little thicker so you can see it. So I put it at the closing price, and then you notice that our one candle came down here and went down here. Instead of putting that trend line there, I put it at the closing price. So you have the low here and the closing price there, and that's really the beginning of the trend line. And if we could follow that green line, it disappeared because the market moved up, but when it comes back into play, you'll see it. That's the next day. It took a while, but right here is really the third touch. Right to the perfect. I mean, why did it bounce here and not bounce up here at 4,400? It came right down to that trend line. That was a great trend line. And look at this. It hit it again, and it bounced off. Now it's confirmed it 4 times. 4 times. So I was pretty comfortable with that trend line after I finally got it in there. And then I was just so surprised that we actually made it down there. And so, as you can see, market was moving around. I'm going back to, this is going back out since the early August. The trend line goes back to early August. So that's a big line. I would say mid-August. And you can see now I'm coming into today. It's just starting to probably move up on us. This is, I think, here it is. Yeah, it was right here, just starting to come in today, and it got so close, and I was like, oh my God, we're like to a point away from it. It's not perfect, but it goes out so far that this could be off 5 or 10 points, give or take 5 points. So this was definitely in the range you want to get into and not worried about anything else. I didn't realize how significant that was. And that was it. That was Launchpad. That was perfect. So that was kind of the best setup of the day over that trend line, and it was a quad rotation too. And the quad rotation had a huge trend line, and then that made a pivot here, which I put in these brown lines here. These brown lines. So you have a pivot. Oh yeah, we have to make this. I'm looking for my 1, 2, 3 pattern here, but we'll have to wait for this one to get filled. Yeah. So right off that line, we broke out of that. We kind of pulled back. I'm just looking at my stuff on the chart, and I was measuring out a little divergence, sell side divergence here. We kind of drifted here, but this stayed pretty strong. You see my lines saying that. I remember I was saying this behind. It's above the 50, and we've already gotten down on the oversold, and we haven't really broken too far away from the 50. So it started to turn really bullish here. And we called this flag, and we got right back up to that trend line. And this trend line is already established. We already put this trend line in. So we know that's a good trend line. So we came right up to that trend line, and it broke back down. We came back down at this point. After this point right here, there was I think divergence. And then after that point, we put in this rising channel, this rising trend line, which made this a nice rising wedge pattern, or upward rising wedge. And those, that's my favorite pattern. If we were looking at patterns in general, or like, what's your favorite pattern? Oh, well, what do you the cup and handle, the head and shoulders, the inverted head and shoulders, the flag, the wedge pattern, triangle pattern. What's the favorite? I like the wedge. Wedge and flags. Flags are good because we nail flags now. We nail flags with a formula that tells us where, how strong the market is. I think I did a pretty decent job talking about it. I probably got off topic too fast. But I think was it today or yesterday, we were talking about George Lane, and when he was coming up with this formula, the stochastic formula, how they were able to understand the concept of that momentum failing, but the price continuing and giving us that divergence. Or was it originally developed for more of a overbought and oversold level? But if you break down the formula and how it's measuring the price over time and plotting on this line of 0 to 100, we start to learn things from momentum, which is underlying the stock price. So we're going to see it before and take advantage of it. And each time we do, if we do get that signal, 9 times out of 10, it works out. So then you get to a point where you're saying, all right, 9 times out of 10 it works out. Do you take anything less? Or would you just say, hey, well, let me just do that? It might take a while. You want to because you get, quad rotation, perfect today. The pullback here, the quad, it waited for the rotation. It was perfect again today, right here. That was at 1 o'clock. Then we had a quad rotation sell signal right here. And that's important too, just to kind of keep you in check. You don't want to be buying up here. Most likely, you're probably and they're up at and here's a wedge pattern trend line breakdown. So we always look for that retracement back up to it, and we got right back up to it, and then it broke down. But here another quad rotation, just getting down there. This was a slight divergence, but it was on a trend line. And then let's go back out here a second. I want to zoom in or zoom out a bit. There we go. That blue line is represented the rising wedge pattern here. And then we had this extension channel from down here. This was our 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When I see 3 pivots like that, I'll drop a line on top of the 2 pivots. If there's only one on one side, I'll take that parallel line. I'll drop that right down over basically the closing area of the price, and now I have an imaginary line going out to the distance. That with especially with a rising wedge pattern, that is what we call a measured move out of a wedge pattern breakdown. A wedge pattern is a half of a channel. It's like a cut channel. Once it breaks down, it goes down to and makes another another test here. If this is going to be a channel, most things are. This is how we're able to predict where that price is going to come down. Now it's, and then boom, it's like magic. So you gotta be on top of this. I should have maybe sent out that alert. That was borderline. I'm trying to really keep people, in good positions too. And I'm always looking for that perfect divergence, that steep angle divergence. But that was a qualifying trade right there too. I mean, it was it probably showed up on the rock bottom as a divergence. This is where we are right now. We just left off. Market's pushing back out. Let me move over. Let me bring up my prop chart over here. The rock bot is, let me see if I can turn on the rock bot for a second. Let's see, let me start recording. Oh yeah, I can see it there now. Alright, so that's the rock bot. Just looking at the recent, nice, it's up nice. And it's in a trade right now. It's in a long 5-minute divergence. So I put the 5-minute divergence on the bigger screen. That is so important to pay attention to. That even qualifies as a super signal. 5-minute divergence qualifies as a super signal. Now I send them out. Ones I send out have to be a visual, pure one. But this was actually a nice, fast, quick double bottom divergence. Look at the steepness of that. And again, this is a 5-minute chart, so each one of these candles 5 minutes. This is playing out over 15 minutes of upside. Much different from trading the 1-minute time frame and freaking out after 4 minutes in a trade. Here you have time to go brush your teeth. Up 375. Now let me switch back over there. All right, so hey everyone in the room. Anybody might be just tuning in, checking out. Hey, what's up? Just hanging out, doing a little trading, trying to get some, just doing a little video, kind of talking about the setups today, and how good they were, and the opportunities that we should be looking for, and going back and pointing out those opportunities. And when you point them out and you keep on seeing them over and over again, it just helps with the development in your trading. And then the combination of these prop trading things, now you could easily apply these tools because they work so well. It's this methodology but it all comes down to the trader. The weak link is the trader. We are the ones who will force ourselves to fail sometimes by being, whatever, over trading aggressively, or not having the patience, or just distraction, whatever, just gambling. There's going to be that happening. I think you need to have that, or else it'll be going insane. Need to feel a little. I need a hit. I used to say, we need a hit. We need a trade. Quad rotations, man. This was a good day for that. And kind of noticed that earlier today. I was saying this might be one of these days where we get this rotation, and if it does, you just have to follow the rotation. We're inside this big channel. Came down. Every rotation was a nice buy signal. Now, right now, overnight, we're trading right now. Let's take a look where we're at. We are kind of we're kind of flatlining here. This is no real signal, and this is exactly what I'm telling you not to do. Just goof around. Oh, Johnny, you're such a bore. Well, honestly, I'd rather see it divert. There's nothing here. I was hoping there might be a little bit more of a range here, but not yet. Maybe after. We still have some time. Intel, we got out of Intel today, INTC. And I knew right when I got out of it, that it was going to go the rest of the day. It was the classic rockstar effect in full force today on Intel. But I did scale out. I mean, I didn't blow my everything out in one shot. But look at that beautiful breakout. And Intel is my pick for a turnaround play. Our target was 38 to 40, basically, and there's an upper trend line above that. And not to say it doesn't even keep on going. I have a feeling it will. But I think we did the right thing taking profits today. Even though this is embedded up here, the 9.3 is embedded, definitely would buy the first pullback on this. I think it, a little tough to chase it, but it looks like it's so strong going into tomorrow that it's probably going to continue to move higher up into that trend line, and then we'll see. I did get into a new stock today. We got out of that one, and we got like 3 points. What did I get on that? I have to look at what that. We got a few points on it. I had 300 shares, so a couple points at least. Bell going off. Everyone have the Ring doorbell. You hear that on my phone. So the SRE here went over a lot of the what we call the HPS, or my scanner that's looking for divergences in the S&P 500. I ran that today, and it came up with we left off with about 24 items. So we're going to go over those real fast. But one of them was this one right here that I'm looking at. We're going to go over those next. SRE. Most of these divergences are in the utility area, so you're going to see that. But this one's recently a good. This one actually had a two for one split. It's pulled way back off this trend line. It was off to 20, coming up here. It's showing up as a divergence. It's not a steep divergence at all. It's barely a divergence, if it is. Mathematically, it is. So I'm taking that shot on a divergence on one of these utilities. The thing is, I never really buy utilities, so I figured this would be a good one to do. Now you can see, look at this one, American Waterworks. This is a nice divergence, a little better divergence on this, and I circled it. AWK, that's another nice one. Regulated water. Look how far that came back. That definitely looks like there's a big trend about to change on this. And this could be just the beginning of it. Double a circle on this one. Kraft Heinz. I mean, these have been destroyed. When they all bounce, they're all going to bounce together. And it's going to be big for the Dow. It'll be the Dow have a good day. A lot of these are in the Dow and the S&P too. Mondelez, kind of another food company. A&P, another power company. Again, that one's actually a little bit of divergence too. You have a lot to choose from when it comes to utilities here. ETR, Southern Company. Again, like I said, that's most of these are. And we had PepsiCo and Coca-Cola showing up on our list, Con Edison. So I took one of those today, just to let you know. And here's McDonald's. McDonald's kind of interesting down here. McCormick, here's the Coca-Cola. Looking at it here, JB Hunt. But this is mine, SRE here. So that's mine. So not much else on there. As a divergence run. Probably some other ones we could dig up. So I got us up to the 200 period moving average. This chart doesn't look as nice as the my Ninja Trader chart. My Ninja Trader chart, I'll switch it over there. Maybe I'll drag it down so we can see it here. Just lost that. All right, let's say that was Intel. Rather than Apple 178. We'll look at that one next. But I'm looking at the. I want to pull this down. Oh, we just got a little drop in the That chart looks a little cleaner. It has a little better. Maybe, you know what I need to do? I need to adjust my stochastics on the other one. Maybe they're too high. Not giving us much. Actually, I don't mind the volume there. I think we just got to deal with that. Charts is not. It's just too flat. The other chart's giving me just a better look at it. It's a little bit different, longer candles. Maybe it's something. Oh, there it is. I could adjust it. There we go. That looks much better. I want to plan out a play for tomorrow. We left off today. I said, pay attention to the trend line. We're probably going to break it after hours. And look at this. We did break this trend line, this big brown trend line. That was the important one today, too. So we're going to continue to watch that. We'll watch that trend line. I have it extended into infinity and beyond. And you never know. You never know. If one day we'll be there. So look at it. The kind of overbought here. It's not much of a trade right now, but it looks like we are hanging in there. I think there might be a trade before we get out of here tonight, or at least worth a shot. I mean, we're almost got a quad rotation sell signal again. Almost. Let me check out the room in the morning. Let's say hi to everyone. Let's see here. Smell you later. John Travolta. Yamada. In your ear with a can of beer. Why do I remember that? That's I used to like Welcome Back, Kotter. It was a little before my time, but I was a young kid watching that. It was pretty funny. In your ear with a can of beer, Kotter. In your TV quotes. Yeah, there was something like that. Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Yes, friends. There are times in life when you reach a point of conflict.
Oh, no.
Shout Factory TV, changing the channel.
Oh, I'm just curious.
Hey, yo, Vinny. You got it?
What?
My English homework. Epstein said you do it.
Oh no, Freddie, man, it went smack out of my head. Last night I was sitting down ready to do it, right? The phone rings. It's Kiki Kornberg. I couldn't believe it. She asked me to come over because she's afraid to watch Laverne and Shirley alone.
That was a great show.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, they don't. Linguini brain.
Hey, who you calling Linguini brain? Look, Freddie, I mean, you gotta be pretty stupid to think somebody like me could even do your homework.
All right, hey, come on now. Watching a fight, I ain't in it. Makes me nervous.
I'm stupid. You know your ABC? Oh, sure, I don't know my ABC.
What comes after C?
My mother.
Oh, I can't take this. Up your nose with rubber.
Hey!
I think I watched that. I think I watched that. Oh, yeah, before I forget here. No, I don't want to put that. It's probably too late. I probably have the name already out there. Sorry. Let's see. So there's a trader who sent in some results from his trading using the Rockbot. So I wanted to pass that on to you because I said, please send me the parameters and you're using some of the details of how you're using it. He says I don't take a lot of trades. I turn them off if there's any big news, which is very important, So already, I can tell he has some good discipline. So these things, he doesn't run them all the time, or very large bars. I'm actually using 2 new 50K Bullinox accounts that I started this week. The other 2 have been done for a week, but I have to trade 1 micro for an extra day. The 2 are the new ones I started on Friday. The bottom 2, I will be telling Bullinox that I qualified. I run one with a 1 minute and the other with the 5 minute. Today the 1 minute didn't do so well, and the 5 minute took trades and I turned it off. Thanks for all you do. So he has 4 qualifying, I think, accounts. So these are the parameters he sent me. So I want to just kind of go over the parameters. That is what he's using right now. He's using it on the 5 minute time frame. So he's using it on the 5 minute, and I tell you, the 5 minute, you can't go wrong. And he's looking at fast. And I just started using this before too on the other prop channel I was running, using the 5 minute time frame and taking a fast scalp. So what he's doing, he has it set on the 5 minute, which you're going to get plenty of time to get that just three ticks and possibly more. I like it. I like that. He's taking a fast profit, then rolling it up about 3 points, and for the next profit area, taking two off, and then having a trailing stop starting after 3 ticks and following up by 12 ticks, using a signal bar low. So 5, that's great. Pile it down. The 5 minute is the way to go. It just gives you more opportunity, more time and stuff. I see it. I recognize it. I mean, it's fun to look at the 1 minute too. I mean, 1 minute, when the 1 minute's like in a good market, it doesn't work as much overnight because the market seems to be trending recently. So you have these times that it sells off. But once you get into that choppy range, you could really, time it with the 5 minute. But I think the 5 minute is the way to go. If I've every test that I've taken with the 5 minute against the 1 minute, the 5 minute outperforms. And I love the 5. Let's see if we could actually put the 5 up. We're not going to get a 5 here because we're not in that situation right now. We're kind of let's see where we are. What are we looking at here? All right, so we have I was waiting for that quad rotation to come in. So do we have the quad here? Yes, we did. We probably just triggered the quad about 3 or 4 minutes ago, right around here. Hasn't broken down yet. We're going to see if there's anything we can read out of this. I mean, it's kind of not very much going on. I wouldn't bet the farm on it. I am seeing that fast rotation though. Sometimes it's fun to, kind of watch and apply some of the skills in different market conditions and see how they react. Even though it's not very liquid, liquidity seems to be really not there with the little gaps and stuff, and there's just not a lot of volume. 48 contracts. This is very, very weak action, and it could probably flush very easily. You could probably drop 3 points in a flash. In a flash, it'll drop 3 points and then work its way back up, and it's kind of a little bit more dangerous. But I think the signals come in pretty good still. I'll officially close out the video, and we'll start something else. I'm actually doing the video live tonight, and just going over the research and actually just going over today's charts, you know, and looking at the opportunities, because this is going to just make you more motivated. Not that you're not motivated, but really motivated when you see things and see the opportunities in these markets with these, you know, the opportunities that we have right now, not even trading your own money. And it might be very easy. I mean, email right now, you know, 4 or 5 pro accounts. All he has to do, all he's going to do is do the same thing. He got that to that point. You know, he's going to do the same exact thing. You know, you got to have that discipline. You got to have that discipline. You got to, you know, it's a one-time fee, right? So you don't have to rush it. I don't think you do, right? I don't know the exact parameters of each of the stages there. Let's see here. So it's just an impressive day, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. So I'm going to send this out just to kind of, you know, you could go look back, see what you have. Video's done. Adios. We'll see you in the markets tomorrow morning.